Well, I know no one's in here yet. They're probably not used to seeing me on here. And so let's just hang out a few minutes, see if anyone shows up. Don't want to just sit here and be quiet, but unlike my father, I can be quiet sometimes. There's someone showed up. I know. You're probably confused. Who is this person? Are you an old timer or Felicia Donald? Oh, okay, you do know who I am. Or do I look that much like my father that you can tell? No, I am trying to. Oh, cool. Well, that's good. Dad gave me permission to come on here and make a request to the community. So I was going to give it a minute or so for everyone to get in here. But I've got a personal favor to ask the channel. I'm trying to do some research at my university. Part of my. Oh, you left. Okay, I'll shut up. Bye, Felicia. Oh, interesting. It says 0 on the participants. So it went from 1 to 0. So I assumed you left. You're ghosting now. No, the reason I'm here is I've got an online survey for my university that I'm trying to do as part of my PhD. And it's targeting some specific cities that Dad said I might be able to reach on here and might be able to find some people that know friends or anything in these big cities. And the survey is basically on looking at the residents' perspective from, thank you, James. Not yet. This December it'll be, but I've got an online survey that I'm trying to send out. I need about 20 to 30 people in each of the big cities. So what it is I say big cities, but it's not every big city. I am looking at if anyone knows people in New York City, Milwaukee, Salt Lake City, Orlando, Miami, Palm Beach, Seattle, Boston, Phoenix, or Knoxville. Sorry, Nashville, not Knoxville. And what it is this is a short survey. Each participant will be eligible for a $25 gift card. There's 5 of them. And what it is we are trying to gauge the residents' perspective on COVID and on tourism in their cities. So what it is we're trying to conduct a scientific research that will allow us to be able to gauge and monitor, or sorry, gauge and measure how the residents of these big cities. We chose these cities because they are the highest level of COVID numbers and the highest number of fatalities in out of those cities. So we are wanting to get people in those cities to fill out the survey and try to tell us, we're trying to find out was the city or the government's policies, did the masks help? Was it positive or negative? Was the shutdown and the curfew good or bad? Social distancing. We've got a whole bunch of questions in there that we're trying to gauge what people that live in these cities think about tourism. Were they upset? Was it good or bad that the mayors of these cities opened them back up in order to be able to allow foreign or domestic tourists come into their cities? Did it increase? Do they think it increased the number. Whether the science says it or not, we're trying to gauge what the residents of these cities felt and thought about tourism and COVID throughout the last 2 years. So I've got in the description below this video, I actually have the link. It's a Qualtrics survey. Anyone can click on it and take the survey. Our target audience is those cities I named off. So if you guys know anyone in those areas that you might be able to share it and help, this will be part of my PhD, because I am doing a similar study to where I am also looking at the residents' perspective of tourism and COVID in Singapore, Thailand, and the Philippines. And that will get launched this summer. But this study here is what is called a domestic pilot study. So I am looking at these studies, and it will be a specific publication on itself looking at these cities. But it also roll into and justify and give me some experience before I start spending money, a couple $1,000 to do an online survey overseas. Because since I am not able to go to those countries right now and do the surveys, I have to pay someone to do it. And that will be offered in multiple languages. So what I am trying to ask, and Dad said I could get on here, is to just pass it out to the community. I am going to be watching the numbers for the next couple days, and I'd really like to see how Dad's YouTube channel can come through and possibly help me. I know I've been a very strange face on here, not very on here unless I'm cooking or visiting with Dad. I've not really posted anything. I've been more behind the scenes. But shocker as it may be, I do like to talk like my father. Um, but it is more along the lines of my research or on veterans. And so I like to really help veterans with their disability claims and stuff. So, on a side note, not the point of this video, but if you guys know anyone that is a veteran that is trying to get their VA claims increased, their VA disability, let me know. So, um, yeah, and I've reached out to a couple universities that have established veterans communities. The Boston area was very hard of trying to get to. I looked at BU, Boston University's veterans group, but they have a contact us page, but no way to email or call them. So it just told me who the name of the president was and the executive. Didn't really give me much contact. So yes, having someone in the Boston area would be great. The lowest three cities we've got so far um, is, let's see, Boston, Phoenix, and Nashville. Those are my lowest three participant cities out of all of them. And I've only got like 10 in each of those cities, and we were shooting for around 100 in each city. So doing a sample size calculation, you take the population of the city, you take the reliability factor and a couple other calculations, and the computer will actually spit a number out of how many participants you need in each city. And this is something that I think is important for you guys to learn, is when you start seeing some of these poll results that they love to throw around on any newscast, think about it like this. A city the size of New York, as a researcher, it's telling me to get a sample size of the city that I need 100 surveys for those cities. Okay? That is not a very big population. If you really think about it abstractly, that says I can go gather 100 surveys, basically walk into a church, get 100 surveys, and scientifically, that would be considered a sample size for that city. Now, keep in mind, I'm still in my PhD, so I'm not a seasoned researcher. So it's just something that I've always just shaken my head at as I've went through academia. And I'm like, that makes you look at the polls that they show quite differently. And also, you are able to, when you start doing some of these results. So on this survey, I actually sit down and I will do structural equational modeling, which is an advanced form of statistics. And I have all these questions from this survey, and you're able to go in and you can manipulate it. And you're able to say, okay, these questions are grouped together into one construct, these are grouped together in another, and you pump it out. But what a lot of these politicians do, they will say, okay, these are the questions I don't like. Ignore those questions. Let's look on these questions. And that's how they get a lot of these reviews and these percentiles, is because they're not looking at the full survey. They're taking what research results of someone like me that does that's being neutral, and they will actually go in and they will try to skew the data to where it is favorable for them. And they are getting justification through science, through omitting certain facts. So, um, well, we're at 11 minutes. I was just wanting to stop in and see if you guys could help me. Again, like I said, the link's in the bottom. If you would, please copy that link in that description and send it to any text or people you know in those cities. Ask them to share it. We're doing what's called two things. We're doing cold contacting, which is we don't know any of these people personally. We're asking for referrals, just like I am now, or we're going onto social media and we're trying to get people to take the surveys. The second thing we are doing is we're trying to do, it's called the Snowball Method, which is where if I find one person in New York City, I ask them, have you take it for me, and now send it to about 4 or 5 other people. It's similar to the old, what are those chain letters that they used to send out back in the old days, early 90s? So, okay. See you, Felicia. Sorry to bother you. Thank you so much for helping. So I'll try to get the old man to get on here sometime soon. Anyway, so what this is the snowball approach, is where you ask one person to send it to everyone they know, and then you're able to get them to continue sending on. So one person could theoretically turn into 100 if it works correctly and everyone refers it to everyone. So that's what I'm kind of asking you guys to do, is help me on this. I'm really hoping the community can come together and help me out. I'm going to leave the video up for probably until Monday or so. Whenever we close the survey, I will actually probably take this video off from being public, because once the data is sealed, I don't want people clicking on the link and not be able to do it and get frustrated. But this probably won't be the last time that I get on here trying to ask for help with different surveys and stuff that I'm doing. So at this point, I will let you guys go. Drive safe out there, everyone. Watch out for stupid. Don't be stupid. And make it home safe. Have a nice evening, guys and girls. Talk to you later. Bye.